Hello, my dear friend. I hope you are doing great. Welcome back to my channel. If you have not subscribed it, please subscribe it. Press the bell icon, hit the like button also. Friends, as you know, I have already covered up to article 23. If you have not watched previous video, please visit all of that. That will boost your confidence regarding political science syllabus. And friends, I have started from the scratch itself so that each and every student can understand whatever I am telling here, whatever I am teaching here. Now I am going to start from the article 24. Article 24 is about the no child below the age of the 14 years shall be employed to work in any factory or mine or engage in any other hazardous employment. Just these are the three lines, and but it is not enough to know three lines for the UPSC examination and all state PCS examination, because you are going to appear to the class 1 job. Then you have to know things very in deep. Otherwise, you would not in the situation to select out or to the rooted out the wrong statement over there in preliminary examination, or you cannot write in the mains examination also. Friends, you have to know each and everything about this article 24. Article 24 talking about the prohibition of the employment of children in the factory etc. That is the gist of this thing. But I will discuss this article in the two phase, because earlier there was a law or act, that prohibition of the child labor, prohibition of the child labor and regulation act 1986, and there was an amendment in the 2016, and after that 2016 till now, what are the provision present in this act? As per the 1986 child labor and regulation, prohibition and regulation means prohibition, you are prohibiting to do work by a child in any hazardous industry, and even you are regulating, prohibition and regulating child labor prohibition and regulating act 1986 in that. And you know that amendment came into the 2016, that but before the 2016 there was act of the 1986. In that, all children below the 14 years of age were prohibited for the work in the hazardous industry, means they can work for the normal industry, but it was prohibited to work as a labor in the hazardous industry. And you know, there is an article I have already taught in my lecture, that article 21A. Article 21A is talking about the education, means if a student is between the age of the 6 to 14, then he is liable to get all the education within the free amount in the neighborhood itself. Then that act was in the conflict of the article 21A, because it is talking about that you can deploy, you can employ the children below the age the 14 in the non hazardous industry. And how can it possible if a child is working as a labor in the any factory or any company, then how he would able to or she would able to get education between the age 6 to 14? And that is compulsory. Even right to education act came into the prominence in after 1st April 2010, and according to that, each and every child have the rights to have education. And that's why this article 24, article 1986, act 1986 was in violation of the article 21A and right to education act. That's why our government came up, or our parliament came up with the such type of amendment in 2016, so that they can eradicate all the inferiorities or complexity in that law. And 2016 they came up with the proposal that they added the adolescence also. Adolescence means if a child is between the age of the 14 to 18, that it would consider adolescence, means he is now not mature enough to take decision, but he is mature to work in any factory But in non-hazardous industries, means if a child is between the age of the 14 to 18, he can work or she can work in the factories or company, but that should be non-hazardous. Hazardous means like a BD rolling, and maybe like a explosive material, maybe lethal work should be there, would be there, and it is not permitted to work as a labor in that factory between the age of the 14 to 18. But yes, the children can do work as a like non-hazardous industry. And below the 14 age there was a totally prohibited work as a labor for the any children. Means below the 14, then there is no provision to work, and our government should provide education between the 6 to 14 years of child, that is compulsory and in the neighborhood itself. That's why our government came with this type of proposal. Then what are the pros and cons of this amendment of article 2000 or amendment act 2016? Like pros, if I will talk about the pros, that even like a exception also in this article. First I want to tell some exception also. Exception means there are some constraints also on this act. Like if a child is working, the child is below than 14, then he can do work in the like family business. If your family after the school hours, this is the condition in that. If a child is want to work and willing to work, then he can do work after the schooling hours and in the family business. And the second clause is that if a means if a child is willing to work in the audio video visual entertainment, means he want to work as a child artist, then he can do or she can do. That totally depends on the like child or children willingness, but that should not be compulsory or that should not imposed by the family members or their parents or guardian. This is the two exception present in the amendment act 2016, that child labor prohibition and regulation amendment act 2016. And what are the pros? Means some people are saying that who are proponent of this type of amendment, they are saying that yes, this is prohibiting and this is very good amendment. It is talking about the article like children who below than 14 and even above than 14 also, means between the age of the 0 to 18. That what are the benefits, what are the pros and cons of this article? Like family business, if I will talk about the family business, there is not mention anything else that what is the definition of the family business. Then then this it can be misutilized also. That earlier there was a provision before 2016 that a person can employ the children, so many children in the non-hazardous industry. But after this regulation or amendment, that certain restriction would be imposed on the owners, then he may transfer his company ownership to the any like poor children family, and they would like keep continue work by indulging their children. That it can be happen like if I will take example of the shirt making, like garments making. Yes, that if a powerful businessman or a wealthy or prosper businessman can transfer ownership of his company to the labor name, and that labor person can employ their children under this act, and that can be misutilized also. It means sometimes that's why so many critics are saying that it is like a provision to employ more and more children in this industry. And the second one is like it can be a overburden of the children also, like maybe girl also, because it is permitted to work in the business of the family members. But generally in India we are like we are like discriminating the girl child as compared to the boy child. Yes, it is permitted to work as a workman in the family business, then family would allow to study the male child, and the girl child would be like forced to work as a part time or like after schooling hours. Then it would be burden. And where, what about the childhood of that girl? Yes, because after schools then there would be enjoyment of the childhood, but if she will work as a workman in the any industry or the family business, then she would deprive from the childhood, and that can be detrimental for the a child health, because each and every component is very important for the child growth. And the next thing is like uh, it can be misutilized, like if a children is like a if a girl is going for the study, then she would have, or she would face so many problems, then she would be reluctant, or she would not have energy after doing so much hard work in the company. Then she would await the schooling timing, then maybe their parents would fake their attendance in the school also, and after some time maybe she would discontinue, and the fake attendance would be like keep continue going on. And this is the provision can be misutilized by the owners or the industrialist. They can transfer the ownership to their parents, and how their parents can utilize the children. Maybe this one is that's why so many critics saying that it is a provision to employ these children in the factory or company itself. And like some people are in the like uh, in the positive side, and they are saying that yes, it can be a good law and act, and amendment is very great, and it is talking about the right to education, because below the 14 years of age that each and every student should get education, and that is prohibiting all form of the employment in any companies below than 14 if a student are is there. And like uh, some of the critics say that it's a number of working hours is not mentioned in this amendment act 2016, means how many hours is like permitted to work as a workman for the children. That's why it can be misutilized also, because if there is no explicitly mentioned the working hours, then the working hours can be stretched any number of hours, and that can be overburden of the childhood of a children. And even before the amendment 2016, there was a 88 industry in the category of the hazardous industry, but after the 2016 amendment, only 3 industries have left in the category of the hazardous industry. And can you imagine, earlier there were the 88 industries, now it's only 3, and by amendment they can reduce up to the 1. What about the earlier the BD rolling was also in the hazardous industry, but now they are permitted. What is the grim situation is this: someday it would be reduced to 1, and what means it is a totally violation of the law, and it is permitted to work as a child labor in the factory. That's why so many critics are saying that. And if I will this law is allowing the TRP, means if I will talk about the child artist, and what are the so many TV reality show are coming in the TV, and they are in the trend. So many childs are working as a child artist in that. Our television industry is working on the TRP basis, television rating point, means that how much TRP a program or the any TV program is having more TRP, then more people would visit to him to run ad, then they would earn money. This is the way to earn money. That's why because our television industry is working on the TRP basis, and that it is creating a competition in the students, in the children who are going to work as a workman or child actors in the TV reality show, and that can be misutilized by the TV channel owner and all things. And some benefits also, people are saying that yes, it's talking about the article right to education, and even it prohibiting the each and every forms of the hazardous industry working or non-hazardous industry working, but we have to tackle this issue, and it totally depends upon the that we have to plug the loopholes where the we are our legislation or our executive is finding, and we should scrutinize what is the right and what is wrong. That totally depends upon the our implementation. Yes, each and every law has flaws in itself, and but the implementing authority should decide that what is the right and wrong. They should judge on that thing, on that parameter. That is all for like article 24. Then I will start from the article 25 tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please share my video among your friends. Bye.